Human consciousness understands life narratively. We don't live just isolated facts, we live stories, symbols, and meanings. There is something curious about the way we humans experience reality. We don't experience life solely as a succession of facts, we live it as a story. Academia remembers Ikea narratively. Even when we remember our past, we don't usually store isolated data, exact dates, or objective information. Para sa Mirori, you remember master moments, symbols, emotions, relationships, losses, discoveries, and transformations. That is to say, we remember narratively. And that's why stories have accompanied humanity since the beginning, long before psychology, modern philosophy, or even science. Myths, tales, symbols, stories, and narrations around the fire already existed, because stories don't just entertain, they help organize the human experience. A story can be an emotional map, a novel, a myth, a movie, even a dream. They often function as explorations of consciousness, or symbolic representations of internal processes that are difficult to explain rationally. That's why some stories affect us so much. Because we don't just understand what happens, we recognize it. Sometimes a character reflects our fears, our wounds, or our desires, or parts of ourselves that normally remain hidden. And suddenly, without knowing exactly why, something inside moves. Tarsiala Sinos build a severe story about ourselves. Most people build an internal narrative about themselves, who they are, and what their experiences mean. That narrative enormously conditions perception, decisions, relationships, and the possibilities that the person feels available. In a sense, we live inside the stories we believe about ourselves. Transforming a life also implies transforming meaning. Perhaps that's why profoundly transforming a life rarely consists only of acquiring new information. It often involves reorganizing meaning or reinterpreting experiences. It involves looking at our own story from another state of consciousness. Human consciousness seems to understand deeply through symbols and metaphors. So we understand through emotions and lived narratives. Not only through logic, stories continue to work within us. As a datas certain novels or conversations can remain within us for years, as if the subconscious continued processing them silently. A story sometimes acts as a seed. It doesn't produce immediate changes, it just stays there, in silence, until some moment in life activates an unexpected resonance. And then we understand something we couldn't see before. Transformative stories don't usually feel like lessons, they feel like mirrors. They allow us to recognize ourselves, and perhaps that is one of the deepest functions of art and narrative, helping human consciousness observe itself through stories.